Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Corey Yoder of Coriander Quilts, and today I have a fun fall quilt to share with you. If you live anywhere in the northern United States, I would imagine that your weather is getting a little bit chillier, just like my weather is. And when cold weather hits, it is fun to have a cold weather quilt. I realized that I had not shared my Feeling Leafy Quilt anywhere on social media. I didn't share it on my blog. I haven't shared it on Instagram or Facebook or here or anywhere at all. And I thought I need to fix that because this is the perfect quilt for fall. It's quick to piece. It's layer cake friendly. It finishes at 63 inches square, so it is perfect for snuggling up on the couch. This quilt is found, the pattern is found in the Snuggle Up book, which is one of the Moda All-Stars books. And for my quilt, I used Cozy Up fabric, which is just perfect for this time of year. And I do want to talk about the quilting, show you the back of the quilt because the back makes it extra special. So let me pull this quilt down and let's talk a little bit more about some of those quilt details. I had mentioned talking about the back of the quilt, and that sounded a little bit strange, but I'm excited about the back of the quilt because I backed it in Minky. Minky is such a cuddly fabric to back a quilt with, and it also beautifully shows off the quilting design. I am going to look up the name of this quilting design and mention it in the description box below this video. I don't know it off the top of my head. It is a swirly kind of wind blowing sort of design that perfectly goes with the front of the quilt. And I need to get you that information so that if you would want to use this on any of your fall quilts, you know exactly which quilting design you are looking for. It was quilted by my long armor, David Hurd. His website is Quilting by David, and I will also link to that below. Now, I received a question just this week about quilting with Minky, and people were wondering if I use batting when I have my quilt sent out to be quilted with Minky. And yes, I always have used batting. Now, just recently, within the last 2 weeks, I sent a quilt out to David and I asked him not to use batting. I was having it backed in Minky, and it's a large quilt, and Minky combined with a large quilt does add a lot of weight to your quilt, which you might like, you know, depending on what you're going to be using it for. I decided that I wanted to try it without batting. So I sent everything off to him and he started quilting it up, and within probably the first, I don't know, couple minutes of his quilting, he stopped quilting, took a photo of the quilt, sent that to me and asked, "Is this what you want it to look like?" Without batting in your quilt project, the quilting will tend to look very flat. That thread just sits on the quilt top and it doesn't have the definition that you're going to see with batting included. So he ended up taking out the quilting, putting batting back into the quilt and quilting it all up. And I think that was definitely the right choice. And I so appreciate a long armor who stops and is like, I don't know if this is quite what she's after, and let me take a look at that. So going forward, I would definitely always use batting in a quilt that I am having quilted using Minky as a backing. I did opt to use a very lightweight batting. He has many different batting choices, so he suggested a really lightweight bamboo batting. So I think that is going to be just the ticket. We will still have the beautiful definition that we want for the quilting, but we are not going to be adding any weight to the quilt. So I wanted to mention all of that because that was new for me to try a quilt without batting, and I wanted to share my experience so that you could learn from that as I did. And let's take a look at the front here again. I don't know how well this shows up for you, but I used a white on white gingham for my background fabric. This white on white was from a few lines ago from Apricot and Ash, but any white on white would be beautiful as your background, or even a low volume would be wonderful with these fabrics. So let me think if there's anything else I wanted to say. A stripe for the binding, of course. I think that's about it. So if you have any questions about this quilt or specifically about quilting with Minky, I guess the other thing I want to mention too about Minky is that David, my long armor, when I've asked about Minky in the past, he very much prefers a high quality Minky or cuddle type fabric, not, you know, just one from Joann's or Walmart or something like that, but a quilt shop quality Minky is going to be nicer for your long armor to work with. So if you are sending out Minky to your long armor, do check with them and see if they have preferences for what you are sending to them, because I think it works much better for them if it is a high quality fabric. Same goes for those quilting cottons as well. High quality is always going to be a better choice in your projects in the long run. So that is my project, Feeling Leafy, from the book Snuggle Up. This book is in quilt shops right now. I do have a couple copies available in my Etsy shop. I'll link to that below. But if your local quilt shop has a copy of this book, I love if we can support our local quilt shops. So be sure to check with them to see if you can grab it from them. It is a book full of all kinds of snuggleable little quilts. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day, a wonderful start to your fall, and I will catch you next time.